Good day, everyone. I am Shivanan Rampaul-Mohammed, Group 1 leader, and I'll be presenting our project. On to the next slide. This slide presents each member of our Group 1 and their respective IDs. On to the next slide. Our Growbox project focuses on designing and constructing a barrel growbox system. This idea came out of the current economic challenges in Trinidad and Tobago, especially the reduced availability of foreign exchange. Since a large portion of our reserve goes towards importing food, there has been a growing national push for citizens to plant more local produce. Home gardening is one of the most practical ways to reduce household expenses while improving food security. Our project uses a recycled plastic barrel to create a compact, affordable, and disability friendly grow box. The goal is to help low income families and people with disabilities grow fresh vegetables, even in a small or limited space. By using recycled materials, we also promote sustainability and environmental awareness. We focus on crops such as lettuce, bok choy, chive, celery, parsley, and shadowbenny because they grow quickly and adapt well to containers. They are commonly used in households as well. Overall, the system aims to support household savings and contribute to national food security. Our main objective included constructing the grow box using repurposed barrels, developing a proper soil mixture for drainage and fertility, testing the system's ability to support healthy plant growth, and encouraging sustainable agriculture through recycling. The project scope covered planning, supervisor approval, creating a Gantt chart, conducting surveys for user feedback, interpreting the data, preparing the container, building the soil layers, planting the crops, and finally monitoring and maintaining the system. This project encouraged engineering thinking as we had to consider materials, dimensions, soil structure, and drainage, make adjustments based on reconditions to our project. It allowed us to apply problem solving thinking skills and understand how practical designs decisions impact performance. Overall, this project demonstrates the small scale agriculture using simple recycled materials that can both sustain that can both sustain sustainability and food security in Trinidad and Tobago. On the next slide is a video which we have provided for the demonstration of our grow box from the first day of planting and construction. After the video, I will pass you on to my colleague. On to the next slide. Thank you for your time. On to my next colleague.
Good day, my name is Louisy, and I will be presenting the status of Trinidad and Tobago's food importation bill. In recent years, Trinidad's food importation bill has climbed to a high of 7.3 billion TT dollars, with imports making up over 80% of the national food consumption. High import dependence reveals weaknesses in the local food production system. The local agricultural sector struggles to produce the types of food that consumers want or to supply them at large enough quantities to supply the demand, which increases reliance on imported products. Increased reliance on imported processed foods contributes to poor dietary quality and rising non-communicable diseases. Many imported foods tend to be less nutrient dense and may contain genetically modified or highly processed ingredients. This can contribute to higher rates of non-communicable diseases, and unless individuals make the conscious effort to diversify their diets and choose healthy options, this will continue to be an increasing trend. Declining agricultural sector due to low investment, aging farmers, and competition from cheaper imports. This creates unfair competition due to a lack of government support. Local producers often face unfair competition because they do not receive the same level of government protection, such as subsidies or price supports, that foreign producers benefit from, leaving the local sector vulnerable to economic shocks. Greater vulnerability to global supply shocks, leading to higher local food prices and inflation. Food prices in the Caribbean can fluctuate due to geopolitical events occurring in other regions, such as conflicts, trade restrictions, or chain destruction, or global supply chain disruptions, which directly affect import costs. Next slide. Next, we'll be looking at the implications of the food import bill. Overdependence on import threatens national food security and self-sufficiency. Relying heavily on food, Relying heavily on foreign food makes the country vulnerable to supply disruptions and reduces national control over its own food production system. The population faces higher health risks from nutrient poor diets. As I have explained earlier, it contributes to an increase in non communicable diseases. Loss of opportunities in local production, agro-processing, and diversification. With the lack of investment into the agricultural sector, the import dependence limits growth in farming, agro-processing, and value-added industries, reducing jobs and economic development. Increased exposure to the global market, volatility, and climate-related disruptions. Any changes in international markets, conflicts, or climate events abroad can quickly affect local food prices and availability. Rising food costs create economic pressure on households and highlight structural weaknesses in agricultural sector. Higher import prices increased household expenses and reveal weaknesses in the agricultural system that need addressing. I will now pass you on to my colleague.
Hi, good day everyone. My name is Brandon Sampson, and I'll be discussing the generation and selection of solutions by our group. So, the first part is what is our methodology? Now, this methodology will provide a comprehensive look into the development of the methods collecting data via a questionnaire and provide a look into the other designs that were unfortunately not chosen. Now, the thing is, what problem? Well, our group had to build on an engineering problem, which was outlined by both Shivanan and Joel. The problem states that Trinidad and Tobago is currently experiencing a rise in its food importation budget, which puts strain on the limited foreign exchange the country has to offer. Now, how did we go about our project design approach? So the following sections will show and outline the steps that our group has taken to make a theoretical idea of an affordable and disability-friendly grow box for home vegetables and produce a reality. Now the designs. The first design is that of an A-shaped or multi-layer grow box. This design allows for food self-sufficiency, creativity, and gaining knowledge at a low cost using recycled materials, requiring no electricity and an efficient use of space, being eco-friendly. It gives room for modular modifications in terms of the height and of the depth of the planting sectors. The second design is the barrel grow box. This design attempts to give a practical solution for producing vegetables, herbs, and flowers in tiny places, making it suitable for urban or small-scale farming. It focuses on improving soil composition, drainage, and aeration to promote healthy root development and uniform plant growth. This also gives room for easy modifications in the term of reducing the height of the barrel via cutting, as well as promoting recycling. Due to these factors, the barrel grow box was the ultimate design that our group had pursued. Last but not least, we have the hydroponic system. The vertical garden varies in height depending on the person. The structure is made using recycled plastic 2-liter bottles arranged on a wooden or metal frame. It promotes sustainable gardening by reusing waste plastic and conserving space, making it ideal for small home gardens. The system relies on natural soil processes for plant growth, requiring only watering or regular watering and sunlight. Now, our questionnaire development. The questionnaire featured questions that encourage community engagement, where members of the East-West Corridor were encouraged to participate. The group also came up with a total of 3 designs, which were most popular in their own communities, as stated above. The questionnaire also featured questions in terms of living situations, fresh produce, monthly budgets, and online training sessions for people who are just getting into gardening. Our data presentation was that of the Google Forms. The questionnaire was made on a Google Form, which has a setting to produce all individual responses in an Excel workbook or cumulative results on various charts via pie charts, bar charts, line graphs, etc. Now, how was the schedule ordered? Our schedule was based on a Gantt chart. The Gantt chart showed the timeline of the IENG Growbox project for Group 1, detailing tasks, durations, and dependencies. It was used to track progress and ensure the project was completed efficiently and on schedule. I will now pass you over to my colleague. Thank you for your time.
Good day, everyone. My name is Jelani Small. I'll be doing what is a home garden. The home garden represents a purpose and sustainable approach to household food production, enabling people to cultivate vegetables, herbs, and other crops within their immediate living environment. Purpose and importance. It supports sustainable household food production, and it allows cultivation of herbs, vegetables, and other crops at home. It promotes food security and reduces dependency on supermarkets, and it also encourages healthier eating with fresh, chemical-free produce. The barrel Growbox concept. It is ideal for urban or space-limited environments, and it uses recycled 55-gallon plastic barrels cut horizontally. It is cost-effective and environmentally friendly, and it has a durable structure suitable for long-term use. How the system works. It has a gravel layer for improved drainage, and nutrient-rich soil mix for plant health. It also has a moisture-retaining top layer for water efficiency, and it enhances aeration and supports strong root development. Suitable crops for the barrel system. The suitable crops that were chosen are lettuce, chives, chardonnay, pak choy, parsley, celery. These crops are best for short cycle and are shallow-rooted plants. I'll pass you on to my other colleague.
Good day. My name is Terell Henry, and I'll be presenting on the plants used in this project and why. The plants used during the creation of this Growbox were rosemary, thyme, chive, parsley, lemon balm, pak choy, and chardonnay, which all have similar harvesting techniques where you wait for the stems to grow between 5 to 8 inches and you cut the stems 2 inches above the sprout so you won't stun the plant growth. Next, it has tomatoes and hot pepper, where you harvest them when their color change to the desired color, which is usually red. And finally, lettuce, where you wait for the leaves to grow 4 to 6 inches in length. And the reason chosen is because of their companion planting synergy. Many of these plants used in the barrel complement each other by repelling pests, reducing disease pressure, and improving flavor. Efficient use of vertical and radical space. Tall plants combined with medium herbs and shallow greens in one barrel. Continuous harvest. Herbs and leafy greens can be cut continuously, while tomatoes and peppers give us ongoing use. Low root competition. Most herbs and greens have shallow roots, but tomatoes and peppers tend to grow deeper. In addition, these plants are beginner friendly. They are able to tolerate inconsistent watering. They have a flexible nutrient needs. They provide fast feedback. Also, they are forgiving of prudent and harvesting errors. I'll pass it on to my next colleague.
Thank you. My name is Darwin Salick. I'll be doing the construction of the Growbox. Firstly, the factors we'd like to deal with is the space preparation. This Growbox will require approximately 15 square meters of feet, 15 square meters feet, so you could easily store the Growbox. Please ensure that it's in the sunlight to ensure proper sunlight on the plants and preferably away from a thoroughfare. The next factor is the materials needed. The materials needed for this Growbox is a plastic drum, a 55-gallon plastic drum, preferably a food grade drum. This will ensure no chemicals have been used in the drum before that will harm the plants. Then we have 2 lengths of 2x2 by 12 board, 1 length of 1x4 by 12 board, and 2x2 by 12 board. We have 1 pack of 2-inch gypsum screws, or 2.5-inch nails, half crocus bag of manure, 1 bag of compost, 2 crocus bags of topsoil, and half bag of gravel. The tools will be required to use a hammer, jigsaw, Phillips head screwdriver, or a screw gun, 1 marker, measuring tape, 1/2-inch drill bit, shovel, handsaw or electric saw. And the PPE required for this project will be gloves, boots, and safety glasses. Firstly, the construction of this Growbox you would need assistance if it is you are not familiar with the use of hand tools, or if you have a good use of hand tools and know your way around building small things or have done it previously, this would be easy for you to do. Firstly, gather all the tools, materials, and PPE to ensure that you can finish the Growbox. Then you may need assistance in cutting of the drum. Firstly, put the drum in a standing position and cut it in half vertically. When you have finished cutting it, you wash both halves of the drum and secure it, turning it face down with the arched part facing upward. Then you have your drill and your 1/2-inch drill bit, where you are required to drill approximately 8 to 10 holes to the bottom of the drum to assist in excess water runoff. Then you will use your 2x2 board and cut it horizontally, cut 2 pieces horizontally across the top of the drum to secure it. This will assist in the securing of the drum and also assist as a divider for the plants. Then turn over the drum with the arch side facing upward. Then you will be measuring the 2x4 board and you will cut that also. This will cut horizontally to act as a stabilizer for underneath the drum when you turn it over to hold it in place. So you measure twice, cut once. So you will cut the 2x4, 3 pieces of the 2x4, and use the 2x2 and cut them horizontally. This should be a U-shaped after you finish to actually cradle the drum from movement. When you turn it over, secure the drum. Then you have your soil mix. The soil mixture would be the crocus bag of the topsoil, manure, and the compost. You're mixing those 3 together, and in even parts, you're distributing it in the drums that you now have there. But before you put the soil into the drums, you need to secure a location where you would be putting the Growbox, because putting the soil in the Growbox before would be difficult for you to move it. So secure the Growbox in the desired location. Then you mix the soil and you have that on standby. Then you're going to lace the bottom of the Growbox with the gravel. So the first component is the gravel. That will act as a barrier for the bottom and excess water runoff. Then you would add your soil on top of the gravel, distributing the soil evenly among the 2 halves of the drum. After that, you add your plants. You add your plants to the soil and you gently water it with some water, with a light sprinkle of water, not putting too much of water. And that aspect is the construction of the Growbox. I now pass you on to my colleague.
Everyone, my name is Obinna Thomas, and I will be presenting the nutrition table and how plants were monitored, and lastly, plant maintenance. Firstly, the nutrition table compares a range of herbs and vegetables based on their nutritional content per 100 grams. It shows that different plants offer different strengths. For example, rosemary and thyme are more calorie dense and contain higher amounts of carbohydrates, fats, and fibers compared to the others. Vegetables like tomatoes, pak choy, and lettuce are lower in calories but still provide useful nutrients. Vitamins also vary widely, with the hot peppers and lettuce showing very high vitamin A levels, whilst parsley and shadow benny stand out for vitamin C content. Mineral levels also differ across the plants. Calcium is highest in pak choy and lettuce, making them strong options for bone health, while iron is notably high in rosemary, parsley, and sage. Overall, the table highlights how each plant contributes unique nutritional benefits, showing why a mixed garden with herbs and vegetables can support a balanced diet. Additionally, the table helps illustrate why incorporating a variety of these plants into meals can enhance overall nutrition, since each crop provides different vitamins, minerals, and macronutrients, combining them as pairing high vitamins, herbs like parsley, calcium-rich vegetables like pak choy or lettuce creates a more complete nutrient profile. This reinforces the value of growing a diverse selection of herbs and vegetables, not only for flavor, but for meaningful health benefits. I'd like to show the video of us transplanting into the barrels. This brings me to plant monitoring and maintenance. The plants were maintained through a consistent routine of daily watering and careful checks for pest damage. 2 weeks after planting, they were also fertilized with blue salt to boost early growth and strengthen their root systems. The plants were housed in 2 half-barrels planters positioned in an area that received full sunlight throughout the day. Because of this constant exposure, much of the maintenance involved monitoring how each plant coped with the intense heat and adjusting the care accordingly. The herbs and vegetables were grown together in one container, so their responses to the condition vary depending on their individual heat tolerance and water needs. The sun-loving plants such as thyme, tomatoes, hot peppers, and lemon balm adapted quickly and generally required less intervention. The species thrived in high light environments, so they remained healthy as long as they were watered and the soil began to dry out. When the soil began to dry out. The tomatoes in particular needed additional support as they grew taller, so small stakes were placed to guide their vines and keep them upright. Routine pruning was also part of the maintenance. Any leaf that appeared weak, yellowing, or overcrowded were removed to improve air circulation and reduce the risk of fungal issues. Other plants in the barrel include chives, pak choy, lettuce, parsley, and shadow benny, which demanded more attention because the soil in the planters heated up rapidly under the sun. These cooler weathered and more tender crops were watered more frequently to keep their roots from drying out and keep them to tolerate the midday heat. Lettuce and pak choy were monitored especially closely for signs of heat stress, such as wilting or leaf burn, as well as for caterpillars, which were a recurring issue. Any leaves showing pest damages or stress were removed immediately to prevent further spreading. The shadow benny initially struggled with the constant sunlight, but its condition improved over time as the other plants grew taller and provided natural shade during the hotter afternoon hours.
This partial protection helped it maintain plant health and continue producing new growth. I will now pass you on to my other colleague.
Thank you, Obinna Thomas. Hello, everyone. My name is Jaasiel Roberts, and I'll be talking about how accessible we made our Growbox design and the financial benefits behind it. Firstly, accessible height and leg clearance. We designed the Growbox at a raised height so that the people can garden while standing, sitting, or even from a wheelchair. The leg clearance underneath ensures that users can comfortably roll in and position themselves without obstruction. This feature reduces the physical strain of bending or kneeling, making gardening more accessible for differently able persons and the elderly. Secondly, an ergonomic deep bed. The bed of the Growbox was made deep enough to support healthy root growth for crops like lettuce, pak choy, and celery. At the same time, the depth was carefully chosen to minimize the effort needed for planting and harvesting. This balance between plant needs and human comfort makes the system both productive and practical. Thirdly, a stable frame. Safety was top priority. The frame was reinforced using recycled pallets. This stability prevents tipping or wobbling, which is especially important for users with limited mobility. A strong frame also extends the lifespan of the grow box, ensuring it can withstand outdoor conditions and repeated use. Lastly, user-friendly elements. To make maintenance easier, we kept the design lightweight and modular, so it can be moved or adjusted without much effort. The simple, the simple soil layering system also makes planting and upkeep straightforward, ensuring that gardening remains enjoyable rather than burdensome. Next slide, please. Benefits. This design brings multiple benefits. Economically, it reduces household food expenses by encouraging local production and lowering reliance on imports. The Growbox system, the Growbox supports a variety of crops like lettuce, pak choy, chives, parsley, celery, and shadow benny, all chosen for their short growth cycles and adaptability to container gardening. Beyond economics, the project has a strong social impact. It empowers low income families and differently abled persons to grow their own food, promotes recycling and stability, and above all, strengthens community resilience against raising food import costs. In summary, our Growbox is more than a container. It's a practical solution to food security challenges in Trinidad and Tobago. By combining recycled materials, ergonomic design, and accessible features, we created a system that is affordable, sustainable, and supportive of all users. Now I'll pass you on to my next colleague.
Hi everyone, my name is Jaheem McKenzie, and I will be doing future improvement. First up is durability. To make the wooden frame last longer and protect it from the elements, we plan to coat the entire frame using either varnish or oil paint. This helps use the wood so it doesn't get damaged by the sun or rain. Another improvement is raising the frame slightly off the ground using blocks. This prevents the legs from sitting directly in moisture, which is one of the main causes of wood rot. Next up is water management. To reduce water wastage and avoid forgetting to water plants, we want to install a drip and tray system. This will slowly distribute water to the plants and also include a small compartment to collect rainwater whenever it rains. That way, the system becomes efficient and partially self-watering. Another big improvement will be adding better plant protection, so the grow bags can function year-round. We plan to add insect netting to keep the pests away and also want to include a removable greenhouse cover. This helps protect the plants from harsh weather while allowing the airflow needed. Finally, for better visibility and safety at night, we plan to install 4 solar stake lighting around the corner of the barrels. These charge during the day and automatically light up at night. So those are the future improvements we are planning. Each one will help the grow bags last longer, use water more efficiently, protect the plants better, and make the system easier to maintain. I would like to pass it on to my colleague.
Good day again, everyone. In conclusion, this group successfully designed and built an accessible, low-cost, sustainable grow box, which use recycled materials to support environmental sustainability and met the main objective of creating a practical barrel grow box, and also promoted inclusive engineering principles, and supported home food production in small spaces and for differently abled individuals. The key findings were that the barrel design provided strong drainage and adequate soil depth. The selected crops grew well in the container system, and the community feedback supported choosing the barrel design over alternatives. And the accessibility features, meaning the height, leg clearance, stable frame were effective. The challenges included were the barrel expansion and the need for added support, structural support. The limitations and lessons learned were the structural stability needed improvement. Certain crops responded differently to heat and soil conditions, and hands-on adjustments helped refine the design. The future improvements were add improved water management systems, use treated wood or protective coating for longer lifespans, and include pest-resistant netting or coverings, and the integration of rainwater collection of drip and drip irrigation systems, and enhanced usability for persons with limited mobility. Overall, this project demonstrated how engineering can strengthen food security in Trinidad and Tobago and encourage sustainable living through home gardening. It showed the value of accessibility, recycled materials, and community involvement. This project proved that simple, low-cost engineering solutions can create meaningful social impact. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our Growbox project. And the other slide will be a video on our Growbox.